Can you believe there's a movie where a guy just gets shot in the back of the car, and suddenly he's not even dead anymore? I mean, one minute you think someone's going to die in a movie about gangsters, and the next thing you know, they're making jokes about a cheeseburger. It's Pulp Fiction, and if you think it's just a bunch of random scenes with no real story, well, guess what? You're kinda right. But that's exactly why it's a cinematic masterpiece. Get ready for this wild ride. Okay, let's talk about Pulp Fiction. The movie that has probably made more people confused than a Rubik's Cube, but somehow still remains one of the coolest films ever made. This is the kind of movie where the timeline is all over the place. Characters change their fate faster than I change my mind about what to have for dinner. And there's a random guy getting a suitcase, so shiny that you'd think it was some sort of high-end gangsta briefcase from a Bond villain. So, you've got a hitman named Vincent Vega, John Travolta, and his partner Jules Winfield, Samuel L. Jackson. And they're out doing hitman stuff, collecting briefcases, chatting about burgers in Europe, and oh yeah, trying not to get caught in the middle of all sorts of chaos. But can we talk about Jules' speech for a second? The Ezekiel 25 verse 17 speech. If anyone in real life said that to you, you'd either get super freaked out, or be like, yo, I need you to repeat that again because I want it as my voicemail greeting. Seriously, this is a speech. Samuel L. Jackson didn't just act in this movie. He redefined cool in a way that made us all want to start carrying around briefcases and quoting the Bible like we're some next-level philosophical badasses. Now, let's break this down. The plot. Well, it's kind of like a puzzle where the pieces are scattered around. You've got Vincent and Jules, these guys who, honestly, you wouldn't trust with your lunch money, but you respect them because they get the job done usually. These two guys go from chasing a briefcase, seriously, it's the most expensive briefcase that's probably ever existed, to getting caught in a shootout, but by the grace of fate, they don't die. Can you believe that? You're like, wait, so they're hitmen, but they're not even dead after being shot at point blank? Oh, okay, sure. Then we get into the good stuff. Butch Coolidge, Bruce Willis. A boxer who's just trying to make a living, but ends up accidentally killing the wrong guy, then having to go on the run. It's crazy. But the real kicker here is when Butch decides to do the impossible. Go back to the apartment and grab a gold watch that's been passed down through generations. Do you realize that in this moment, a gold watch becomes more important than your life? Forget your life savings, forget your retirement plan. If you've got a gold watch from your dead father, you make sure that thing stays with you. I guess we can all learn a little something about how far we'd go for sentimental value. But don't get me wrong, Butch gets the watch, and then he's in another fight for his life that involves some random people who also need to be part of this insane web of coincidences. Then we have Mia Wallace Uma Thurman, Vincent's boss's wife, who's clearly living in a world of her own. Now, here's the thing. She's got this whole vibe about her. She's cool, she's quirky, she's dangerous, and honestly, she doesn't even need to say much to get Vincent to follow her into this weird, messed up world. But do you think Vincent's ready for what happens next? No. He's just like, hey, I'm gonna take this lady out for dinner, and then I'm gonna try not to die. And then, surprise, she overdoses on heroin in a very awkward scene. And Vincent has to revive her with some adrenaline. Can you believe it? That's the kind of moment that makes you rethink every bad decision you've ever made in your life. But like always, they come out of it and keep on living. Oh. And let's not forget the absolutely insane finale where everything finally comes together like a chaotic, cinematic masterpiece. You've got Jules and Vincent once again, caught in the middle of a gangster war. Vincent's been shot, but he survives somehow, and they end up just having an epic conversation about life, fate, and whether or not it's okay to put pineapple on pizza. Seriously, Jules looks at the situation and says something deep about the universe, like he's just had an epiphany. And all of this happens before Vincent gets into a showdown with Bruce Willis. Now, here's what's important about Pulp Fiction. It's not just about the hits, the shootouts, or even the insane stories. It's about how Tarantino took all the craziness of life, the randomness, the chaos, and all the absurdity, and turned it into art. It's about making us think, why are these things happening? Why is there always a guy walking around with a gold watch and a briefcase full of money? In the end, Pulp Fiction is all about making connections that you didn't think would matter and showing us that, sometimes, life is as random as the conversations about fast food. So here's the million-dollar question. Can we ever truly understand the meaning of life if we're all just chasing briefcases, gold watches, and getting caught in the middle of dangerous situations? Probably not. But that's why Pulp Fiction is timeless. It makes you feel like you're in the middle of the most interesting, yet confusing, story you'll ever watch. And sometimes, that's all you really need to know. Oh, and one more thing. How did Jules survive that shootout in the diner? Is he bulletproof? Or was it just the power of his epic speech? Because honestly, I need whatever he's having.